Hello, everyone, and welcome to 100% LCFC. You're joining me and James as per usual for the kit room. James, does it feel good to be back after last week's vacation?
Yeah, I wish it was a holiday. But yeah, no, it's good to be back. I heard you got your guitar out.
The guitar is staying back there, and if anybody's wondering, this is a recording album. We're trying to improve the recording quality and stuff like that. So yes, so that's why I kind of look like I'm hosting a knockoff radio show at the moment. So thanks for James for that what's it called, that comment. So it's all good. But yeah, I think we just kick off. First of all, I think a few fans were asking on the Tuesday show about the mosaic. So I'd hand that over to you, James, if that's cool.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So the mosaic, we're trying to get as many people as we can into it. It's obviously for Vichai. Me and Phil actually met with Leicester City last week. It wasn't a no from them. They seem quite cooperative of what we want to do. So me and Phil are currently working up a proposal for Leicester City, so they can have a look at it because they might be potentially help us with funding, etc. Because it's going to cost us a bit. But yeah, we just want all the fans' pictures that we have been so far. If you go to LCFC Fan Mosaic, there's a group there. Just join that, upload your photos, and you're in the mosaic. Hopefully for the walk, we're hoping to release the first version of it. Fingers crossed, we'll get it put on a banner, and with that walk, we'll roll with that banner as well. And you were there last year, Neil. The banners look quite good.
Yes, the banners do look really good. Cool. Okay, and just like to say evening to Neil Ryan, Terry Fuller. Hello, good evening. Cole says hello from Cyprus. Hello. David Gavin says hi, Neil and James from Islands Fox in Sligo Town, Ireland. Good to see you. And Matthew Bond says evening, guys, as well. So
I,
yes,
I can see that you're watching as well.
you see them. I'm watching. Well, surprise, surprise. Hey, we got to keep on an eye on the comments somehow. Yeah. So another thing, quickly before we head off, I'd like to mention is the Predictor League. So would you be able to take that away a little bit more, James? I
Yes,
could post the link in the comments actually as we speak.
yeah. So last year we did a predictor league. So every single Premier League that we play in, all you need to do is predict the score. You get 1 point if you get the result right. You get 5 points if you get the score right. It ran really well last year. Entries need to be in before kickoff. We gave a trophy out at the end. I think Neil's posted the link to the group, so come join the group. There's only been 3 games in, so if you get a few scores right, you'll be at the top of the leaderboard. I think the top one so far is only on 12 points. So come and join. Want to get as many as we can, and we'll keep plugging it in this, and hopefully next week we'll get an actual league put up.
Awesome. I've just pinned it to the top now. So anybody just have a look at the top and you'll be able to see the Facebook link with the Predictor League. I've just joined this week as well. So we could set up our own league if we're too far behind. It's only 3 games in, but should be no problem at all. But yeah, on to last week's game. So the Sheffield United versus Leicester City game. I think we both agreed this is a game that we should win. I think the fans are general agreed that this is a match that would go that hopefully would win. But I think Sheffield played better than we expected. I know they beat Crystal Palace the weekend before, and it seems like the Blades ground is a really hard stadium to go to. If anybody has gone to that, yeah, let us know if what the atmosphere is like in the ground. But yeah, as you can see from this the scores there, score 2-1, shots on target 10 to Sheffield's 8, 2 on target to 3, 51% possession to 49, and 4 corners to 7. So I think my issue with this is probably the number of shots on target. Obviously, we got 2 goals, and they were both brilliant goals, to be honest. But we only had 2 shots. So surely there would be that's an issue concern. But do you think going forward, James, this is something that Brendan Rodgers would address?
I think so, and I think for those of you that were there, me and Phil did a kind of pre-show before the Sheffield United game, and I think I said then we seem to be trying to walk the ball in. There's loads of times on the area that Tillemans and Madders had the ball, and I was just saying, just pile drive it, just hit it.
Mm.
Because you can get a deflection, it can go into the top corner. For me, the first few games, we seem to be trying to walk the ball in, and our shots on target for the first 3 games is really was so low compared to what we were last year. End of last year, we were hitting them, but this year, I know we've got a new formation, which seems to be causing a few issues. But I personally just like them to start hitting the ball a bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I think we got the players to do that. One person that springs to mind immediately is Ndidi, but obviously with Hamza playing this well and how well he played against Sheffield United, which was a hell of a performance. Do we have any other players that could really hit it from range?
I'm not sure. Madders takes free kicks, so he's got to be one that can hit it from range. We've seen Tillemans hit it from range. We've seen Fuchs hit it from range. I think we've got the players in there to hit it from range, but there seem to be more trying to hit clinical chances rather than kind of what you'd call in the old days hit and hope.
Which is kind of where we got an amazing hit and hope, as Andy Med has just mentioned. Matthew Bond has just mentioned the Bard's goal was goal of the season. So it does show you, and it does give confidence, the fact that we won a game from an absolute wonder strike from Harvey Barnes. And yeah, that will go down as quite a game. The only issue I have with that is that's going to put more and more eyes on him, which is not what we want. I think James, we were talking about earlier off camera about a lot of these players we're going to struggle to keep almost if we don't do really well this season, because a lot of, as what happened with Maguire, there'll be a lot more teams like circling around us like vultures coming to pick off the players. And if we're not careful, we could lose quite a few of them.
Yeah, I think it'll come as we said off camera, we know they've got the quality to do it. And I think it'll come. Sheffield United, newly promoted side, they've already had 2 amazing games. They set the shop up well. 49% possession. It wasn't as though they just defended for 90 minutes. I was really impressed the way Sheffield United came at us, and I think we did the same. Maybe we weren't expecting them to come out like they did, but again, I think we just need to keep going at this. I think they will come good, and they'll come really good. I mean, we've seen one half of absolute brilliance at the Chelsea match, so we know it's in there. One of the disappointing things to me is we don't seem to start off very well. And I think that's something that needs to be addressed. Even when we won the league, we didn't start off very great in some of them games. So I think it just needs addressing, that we just need to start off a bit better.
Yeah, and that's been an issue I think we've been having for a while. I remember all the way to Claudio Ranieri days where we used to play the second half better and the first half not as good when we won the league, as you were saying. But I think another point as well that, what's it called? Sorry, well, Carl Cole says we need to move the ball needs to be moved forward quicker, which I sort of agree with. But the issue at the moment I find is we can't quite get the purchase on the finishing. And another thing that Kenny has just said now as well. What happened to Albrighton and what's happened to Albrighton? I think the issue with Albrighton is it's the same with every single manager that goes in. He always ducks down and becomes like third or fourth choice. And then slowly but surely, you'll see him, especially when it comes towards the November and December, as when we've got a lot more games, he will come more into the fray and we'll see him a lot more. But for now, he's still coming off the bench. He's still playing every game. He's maybe not playing as many minutes as we'd like him to, but at least he's in and around that squad more than potentially he could be, especially with people like Gray not playing, with Gazelle look like he's gone as well from the squad. It looks like that we are going to move forward, and O'Brien's still in that position. And I think Rodgers really appreciates Albrighton, but maybe not in the position that everybody thinks that he could be.
Yeah, totally agree. Harvey Barnes, end of last season, seemed to have a lot of chances, didn't really score much.
Mm-hmm.
This season, he just seems to be a different player. He seems quicker, he seems sharper. All of his shots are on target, or he scores worldies. So I think Barnes has been playing really well. With Albrighton, I'm not sure he fits the kind of Rodgers philosophy, because Rodgers does like to play narrow with good wing backs. So it's just difficult. as I said to you off camera earlier, the thing that has surprised me is that we seem to try this great formation in all the pre-seasons, and it got
Yeah.
everyone excited, and we're playing well. Then we start the league off, and we've gone to a different formation, and that bit's just confusing. Why we're not using the same formation we did in pre-season that worked so well, and now we're playing a lot more narrow, trying to unpick teams, and it's difficult to do. And you can see Tillemans. He seems to be struggling with it. He's not had a good game since we bought him. He seems to be drifting in and out of games. So for me, he needs to step up a bit more.
Yeah, and I think he will come good eventually. We've seen how decent a player he could be. But the issue is, I think at the moment is, it just seems like things are a bit slower than we all expected, which is kind of good, I find, because we were all in high hopes, which I kind of wanted, but at the same time, it's kind of put us back on planet Earth, essentially, and gone, right, we're not as good as we thought we could be. The potential is still there. These players are still young, but I think they are going to drift in and out of games. I think, like you were saying, James, they are going to come in and out and backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
So it's just going to take time. But yeah, it's just going to take time. But again, we're fourth in the Premier League. We're unbeaten still. The momentum's still with us. We've just won against Newcastle in the Cup, which you just see on the screen now, as well. So it's definitely looking positive for this season. This is definitely the best I've felt watching Leicester City for a while now. And I can't remember last time we started this strong, even when we won the league.
Yeah, totally agree. Yes, so let's touch on last night's game. I watched the highlights because, like most people, everyone was looking for a stream and couldn't find one. So I saw the highlights, and the stats speak for themselves. 32% possession against our 68%. I feel, again, shots on target, 1. The goal we scored. Again, Neil, it's low shots on target.
Yes.
I don't think it was Newcastle's strongest team, so I was expecting us to go there and score 2 or 3 with the team we put out. But Newcastle do what Steve Bruce teams always do, park a bit of the bus, try and defend, and it was difficult for us to get through. And I think that's probably what we're going to see a lot of this season. Our teams are going to park the bus against us. They know how good we are. They know how great our attack line is. They know how great our midfield is. So they are going to park the bus and try and stop us that way. And we need to find a way to unpick that. And I think that's one of the things that we need. We struggled with last season. We didn't know how to unpick teams, and we need someone that can unpick a team. And I thought Tillemans would be that man, but he doesn't seem to have stepped up so far.
But I think he can be. I think we saw last season he is that person. For whatever reason, it's not quite worked out, but he's still, remember, this is only like 4 games in, and Rodgers is still giving him the full 90 minutes. Maybe he's still adjusting. Maybe he's not hit the ground running. But you got to remember that people like Maddison, maybe not Perez, but Barnes, they've stepped up. So it's kind of looking good. There's one comment that I wanted to go back to, which is from Matthew Thok, who was saying, I think Ward should have been in the keeper last night, as he could have been the cup keeper. First of all, Matthew, we won the game, and Kai played outstandingly. Second of all, I think this is kind of, if this was any other season, we probably would have played Ward as first keeper against, but A, because we were playing against Newcastle side that was a Premier League team, and B, I think Rodgers feels like the way we're going to get into Europe this season is going through the cups. So there's a reason why we only made 2 subs. We put Morgan in, who went off with an injury, which isn't too great, to be honest. And who else did we put in? Then I think Pratt came. No, I can't remember who else the substitution was. Barnes came in for somebody else. Anyway, so he's playing a full strength team, so that's probably why that he is the keeper. Schmeichel's the keeper.
Yeah, I think one thing we need to address is that penalty.
Oh yes.
All I've seen all day on social media is about that penalty. Some of our fans don't like the way Madders took it. When he took it, he probably thought it was Jan Kermigan, and we all know how that ended. But at the end of the day, Neil, it went in. If you've got the confidence to score and it goes in, fair play to you. But if you've got the confidence and you don't score, then you have to take everything that comes with that. And personally, I think it was a high risk for a penalty situation. It wasn't as though it was within 90 minutes. It's do or die. you miss,
Hmm.
then you could potentially send your team out. So I think I'm glad it went in. I just think it's personally I thought it would be a bit risky to try something like that in a penalty shootout.
But surely that's kind of a game of football is very risky as it is. It's about, do you make the run here? Do you take the 1 in 10 chance that it could work and that you gamble and then you get the ball if it comes off the defender? So I think that's just kind of part of the game, and that's what makes them the top of their game. If they didn't do that, um, I think we are kind of crying over spilt milk, to be honest, because it's A, we won, B, he scored, C, it shows confidence, and surely that's what we want out of our players. I don't think it was too arrogant. I don't think it was too over the top. I think there is kind of a cocky streak to Maddison, but I quite like that he's got that. That he's kind of got a little bit of flair about him, that he can be a bit riled. And that, to be fair, that since he's confident in his skills, I mean, this can only mean good things. He's had, I would say, 2 brilliant performances against Sheffield and against the second half, especially when he was brought into the number 10 position against Chelsea.
Yeah.
So it's only looking good for him. And I'm just going to, whatever it can do to push him on, if he does do these things, I mean, look at, for example, what happened last year where he got sent off, I want to say, against Brighton, where we came back to win 1-1. He went down and he dived. And he came out and he said, I'm sorry for it. And then he's not really done that again. So there is kind of that nasty streak, that cocky streak to him. But I think that's kind of necessary for him and the player that he is.
Yeah, and let's not forget, today he's got his England call up. Really, really good. And fully deserved. He's had a great start to the season. So fair play to him. He took the penalty, he scored. There's a lot of people are saying on our messages, who cares, he scored. So
yes,
he
scored,
well. We're through. We've got Luton away in the next match. I've not been to Luton's ground in years and years. I remember how horrible it is. But probably looking forward to going there again. So should we look forward to Saturday's match, Neil?
Yes, we shall. So as we can see here, yes, we have the Bournemouth game. So it feels like Christmas come early. We've got 3 games in a week that we're covering all at once. So, yes, we have, as you can see, 2 wins. Bournemouth, 1 win for us. They've kind of been a bit of, I'd say them and Crystal Palace have been a bit of a bogey team over the last few years. I remember even when we won the league, we didn't beat Bournemouth. But, yes, 5 draws each. 8 goals scored for Bournemouth, 7 for Leicester. Clean sheets 3-3, red cards 1-1. And I seem to remember that red card was the year we won the league, and it wasn't actually a red card. It would have been put back against because it wasn't a red card. But yes, looking forward to Bournemouth. I think it's going to be a good game, but it's going to be definitely a tough ask because they're a bogey team. But I think giving the confidence of what happened last year and how they played, it was a home fixture as well, and I think it was the 61st minute round of applause as well. So how do you feel about the game as well, James?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Bournemouth are kind of, they either play amazing or they don't, if I'm honest. There doesn't seem to be any halfway house for them. So they can come here. They've got Callum Wilson, who can obviously score, good at running at people. So they can score goals. They scored last week against Man City, got beat 3-1. So I know they can score goals and they can score problems. But like you say, they are our bogey team. But they're beatable. They're easily beatable.
Yes.
With the players we've got, we should be trying to unlock their defence and scoring goals. And I personally think they are beatable. And I think probably for me, 2-1, 2-0 for me.
Yeah, hopefully, we can increase the amount of shots on target we get. And as Jay was saying, have pop outside the boxes and stuff like that, because that's definitely something that we can do. And that's a way to improve the team that we can all see. If Reg picks up on that, that'll be great. So now we are going on to our formations, looking forward to the game against Bournemouth. So as you can see, I have gone for a 4-3-3, even though it looks like a 4-1-2-3. So we have Chowdhury holding, Soyuncu and Evans, and then Ricardo and Fuchs. Put Fuchs down? Yes, because I think Chilwell is still injured, is he? Even though he's got an England squad call-up. And then I've gone for Tielemans, Maddison, and then I've gone for more of a direct approach with Barnes, Perez. Actually, is that the team that started? That's pretty much the team that started against the weekend against Newcastle as well. And then Vardy up top as per usual. So, James, would you like to go through your team?
Yeah. The formation I keep telling Phil, but he keeps getting it wrong. 4-1-2-1-2. Kind of the formation I think Rodgers played at Liverpool, with two wing backs ready to race down the wings. Chowdhury in that sitting role, Pratt and Tielemans in that role they played so well for Anderlecht together with. Maddison dropping into that kind of anchor role between the front two, and Vardy and Perez together. I think Perez on the wing for me, he hasn't really done much. Doesn't really look like a good right winger. And if he can't play right wing, then stick him up front. I think him and Vardy would do well together, playing off each other. But again, Vardy's used to playing on his own, so it is a difficult one. But for me, that's the kind of formation I'd go with. We need width at the end of the day. I think Pereira can do that. I think one of the problems I've seen this year is Pereira's got no support. So last year, if you look at the stats, Tielemans and Pereira were playing off each other and were linking up really well. But because Tielemans been drifting in and out of the games we've had so far, Ricardo's not had that support he had last year. And I think Ricardo's finding it a bit difficult to obviously bomb down the wing, but also get back and help as well. It is a difficult one for me. But yeah, that's the kind of formation I thought to combat Bournemouth. They've got a good midfield. Suncho and Evans should be able to take rid of Wilson. That's the kind of formation I was looking at. Not sure what you think to my formation before you take it to pieces.
No, I can see what you're saying with the four, and that's why, if you see what I mean, I've played Perez and Barnes. I've not played Albrighton, even though Albrighton is a very, very good player, and I do believe he's capable of getting in our squad. It's the width and the directness that I kind of want, which is kind of similar to your formation in that sense as well, with Ryden going through the middle. Some of the Cole has said is very similar to what you've just said. Is Ricardo can't get his forwards as much because he didn't have the support on the right covering. So not just the right covering, and also some the Tielemans thing that you were talking about as well. But yeah, Anthony Howard's watching. Hello, Anthony. And Don is watching. Good evening, Don. What time is it? He said afternoon, evening, gentlemen. What time is it there over in Myrtle Beach at the moment? Anthony says Bournemouth won't come and park the bus. No, which will play into our hands. Actually, that's a very good point, Anthony. Thanks for that. For sure, they're going to want to come and play, and that's only going to play into our hands. Teams that seem to do that, we seem to do quite well at. If Rodgers gets the formations right and gets the tactics right, there's no more playing on the right as much. It's just we've got to play them down the middle more intensely as well. Anthony says, would you like to see more of Pratt? Anthony's been impressed with him so far. What do you think, James?
Yeah, I've been really impressed with him. Like I said, in my formation, he's in there next to Tielemans. They know each other. They play off each other. And I think one will fire the other one on. Pratt looks really, really good from what I've seen so far. He seems sharp. He's passing the balls really good. He's got great awareness of where everyone is. So yeah, I think he starts on Saturday. And him and Tielemans and Maddison are the ones that can unlock Bournemouth. As Anthony says, we don't expect them to park the bus. If they do, Anthony, then we're coming after you.
Yeah, and I think Anthony's at the game as well, so hopefully they'll be doing some content whilst they were there as well. Are you going to the game, James? This Bournemouth game on Saturday?
No, I can't make this one, but we'll definitely be there at the next one.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I might be as well, because we're on to international break next week, so we will. But it's good as well, because I think they got announced today. But if anybody hasn't seen that, Chilwell and Maddison have got their call-ups, and Old Fox, previous Fox, former Fox. That's what I'm looking for. Maguire's got his call-up again. So yes,
I can see Chilwell pulling out because of his injury.
Yeah.
I would hope that the physio teams are telling him not to risk it.
Maybe, yeah. Depends on.
And as you know, international duty, players pull out left, right, and centre due to small injuries. So you'd rather protect your player rather than stick them in there and get injured.
Yeah, I've just seen Andy Young has just put a comment saying James's team to start and then Neil's team for the last 20 minutes. So I guess we're on to the winner there. We should be the next manager if Brendan Rodgers ever decides to leave. I've been thinking as well. This is the only issue I have with having an amazingly big manager as well. We were quite lucky to get Brendan Rodgers in before Sarri got sacked, and then Rodgers would have been probably the next in line. So if it doesn't go well for Lampard, I think I've got a suspicion that Chelsea might want to break the bank and come in for Rodgers.
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I think Abramovich will always go for foreign managers. I'm not sure why he went for Lampard this time. They've got, I think Chelsea with this transfer ban are just in trouble at the minute. I think Lampard was kind of let's get Lampard in. He might be able to do quite a lot with the youth. They've got the loan signings back. But yeah, they could do. But I think Rodgers will stay with us until a big offer comes in for him. But I think that'll be a few seasons' time, if I'm honest. He needs to prove himself again in the Premier League. He did it with Liverpool. Celtics, obviously, as we heard, some kind of pub team up north, I've heard. But again, he'll probably want to prove himself again. He'll want to get us into Europe. He'll want us to get us into that top 6 spot. So I think him and Toure are here to do a job, and that's the kind of job I think they'll do.
Fair enough. It's just something I was thinking about, kind of one of those daydream thoughts. But yeah, apart from that, Terry Fuller says, if Perez does not have a good game, could he now be benched? I could see. I think it might be just a confidence issue, but I think he's still yet to gel. The squad is yet. I think it's mostly there. You can see what we're doing, but it's not quite there a little bit yet. But Perez, I definitely think will come good eventually. I know Newcastle fans are kind of saying that he comes in and out of games and he could be good, but for now, I still think having him in the squad, but playing him further forward, playing him on the wing potentially is not where he wants to play. He wants to play as number 10. He wants to cut in and play behind Vardy as well. And maybe he could be the person that could score goals from outside the box as well.
Yeah, and let's not forget, the first game against Wolves, I think we spoke about it. Wilfred Bowley destroyed him in the first 20 minutes.
Yes.
That one challenge, and then after that, Perez seems to, every time he went near him, passed the ball, went backwards, went sideways, anywhere but near him. So I think he's got I think he just got nailed early on.
Yeah.
And that might have hurt his confidence a bit. He had some great chances last night. I thought that one of the chances he had, he should have scored. But again, as you say, that might be confidence. And we all know what the alternative is.
Yeah, and it's always steady backup with Albrighton, and nobody's going to say anything. But yes, Don says, are you concerned with our lack of quality shots on goal? And I think everybody can agree when we say yes. Yeah. we all are. But I don't think it's as cause a concern as the stats make out as well. I think there's just some tweaking to do in order to get this team properly firing. Yeah. So we can do this. We can have a decent team. Where we play some great football, but it is just going to take time, and it's going to take a lot longer than I think myself, James, or I think anybody was expecting. We've not quite hit the ground running. So again, we're only 3 games in, and we're still in 4th position. We're still not beaten this season. So it's looking good. The confidence must be good for the team as a whole. Soyuncu, again, apparently put in a rock performance as well. Chowdhury's looking decent. Ricardo isn't looking as good as he could be, but again, he had an absolutely sensational season last year. So, but all in all, I'm looking forward to this upcoming game against Bournemouth, because I think I'm hoping for a win as well. I think probably a 2-0 or a 2-1 will be pretty good as well.
Yep. Yeah. So as I said before, 2-0, 2-1. Hopefully we'll get a goal early on, and that might settle the nerves a bit. And go at Bournemouth some more. Depends how we start, I think. But hopefully we'll get a good start and keep attacking them. Hope they don't come and park the bus. And hope Tielemans has a good game, because I think he needs one to get that under his belt.
Yes.
Same with Perez. I think he needs to have a good game as well to get that under his belt as well. And I think confidence is always the key. Even
Yes.
when we won the league, I remember going to Man City. When we went to Man City, everyone knows that was the game that kind of everyone thought, hang on a minute, we could actually win this. And you don't go to Man City and play like the way we played without confidence. So the whole team was confident. And I think that's kind of what winners are made of. You see Man City, they're quite confident as well. I think if we can get more confidence within the team, we'll start scoring more, defending better, more clean sheets, and then it will start to click. And I think that's only a matter of time when it does click. So hopefully soon.
Yeah, and as you're saying that, Andy Young has just put in, as long as we keep grounding results, I'm happy. And same with same kind of message from Anthony as well, saying sign of a good team. We are not playing to the full, but we're still getting results.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for. Looking at Man City, yes, last year when they played against Bournemouth, they got a last-minute winner with Sterling. Yeah. That's the same thing, and we're still playing superly well. But yeah, I think apart from that, the last scene we've got.
Yeah.
Cool. Apart from that, I'd just like to say thank you everybody for following this, watching this. Me and James really appreciate this new show. Make sure to tune in every Thursday from 8:30, and we'll be able to do this preview show. I think you hopefully enjoy. Let us know how it goes as well. Make sure to follow the Mosaic. So type in LCFC Mosaic in Facebook and submit your photos there. And also pinned to this comment is the 100% LCFC Predictor League, which you can get involved in. But apart from that, it's been a pleasure, James, as per usual.
Yeah, it's been great. Also, next week we might have a prize to give away that I'm working on. So hopefully we'll have a prize that someone can win.
Well, yeah, so make sure you share this video, like this video, get everybody tuned in for that. I can see a few thumbs up coming in late, which is fantastic to see. But yeah, make sure you get involved, and we'll see you this time next week.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye.